What's up, guys? This is Alternator, and today I'll once again be focusing on my Pokemon discussion. And the theme will be, of course, which female companion would Ash choose as a girlfriend? Now, before I start this is my second take, and yeah, the first one I completely screwed up, and I completely apologize for it because I honestly didn't know that the screen didn't show my presentation, and you have to admit it is like that presentation was actually like my hard work that I've honestly spent so much time on it. So I really wanted you to see it. This time I figured out how to show my presentation, so this time should work. Yeah, of course. Well, as I said before, this is basically on my research and not really from biased sources. So yeah, like as I said before, yeah, I'm a more shipper. I used to be a Poke shipper before X and Y came out because yeah, Misty seemed like the closest choice for Ash to be a couple with. But once X and Y came out, Serena became like my choice because the love was basically canon. So, without further ado, time for me to finally get this thing done. Sorry if I'm being a little rude because earlier I really did gave my all with the presentation and didn't even work. So, but this time everything seems to be going as planned. So, all right. Now the presentation. Which female companion would Ash choose as a girlfriend? By yours truly, Alternator. So, I'd like to introduce you to Ash, as well as his female companions we've seen so far today. So, our first companion we're going to introduce will be Misty. But of course, Misty had to leave us after the 5th season of Pokemon, so we meet another character. This one happens to be May. And May, of course, after the Advanced series, had to leave for her reasons, so we see another one called Dawn. And Dawn sadly had to move once again, just like all the others, and so we see Black and White's specialty, Iris. Not my favorite, but yes, Iris makes an appearance. But like the rest of them, she had to leave as well. And who do we come? We got Serena. Serena as the new face of the female companions. So, out of all 5 of the companions, I will go over each and every companion through 3 categories. Through their personality, their maturity, meaning that what will happen once they grow up, and then finally their relationship with Ash. So, first, before I introduce my first companion, let's go over a little bit of Ash for a moment. So, Ash. He has an age mentality of 10 years old. So, before we start, we all know that most of the characters here are 10 years old. But they have a different age mentality. Ash, for example, is exactly his age, 10 years old, because of the way he acts. This goes for all the others. Their age may be different, but same reason. So the reason he's 10 years old, he does not understand romance. Very understandable. He's 10 years old. Never really had the opportunity for falling in love and romantic relationships. So that's understandable, right? Sweet and gentle to his female companions. We've seen that throughout the entire saga. Him being nice to Serena, him being nice to Iris, Dawn, The list could go on and on. He treats them like a friend, which is a very good point. Because this proves that he's pretty much a little kid. Like, he doesn't understand the true meaning of love. So, of course, he treats them like a friend. And like I said earlier, he's completely oblivious to girls having crushes, especially on him. Serena and Ash is a perfect example of that, especially on one of the episodes where Ash goes on a date with Serena. Ash is completely stupid and just does not realize it's a date, so he just sees it as like a chore to be done, and Serena's coming along for the ride. That's how Ash sees it. So there's the info on Ash. So our first companion, keeping in mind Ash's information, start with Misty. So Misty, her age mentality, I'd say about 13 to 15 years old. Sure, she seems to have a little bit of like relationship, romance, like she's somewhat exposed to it. She has a terrible mood swing, for sure. We've seen a lot of fights between Ash and Misty. And like to be honest, it's kind of funny, like just to watch them fight. Seems to like the mature and intellectual types. We see that mainly in the Orange Island series, season 2, where Misty pretty much flirts with the gym leaders, like the older gym leaders, like Ash's second gym leader. When Ash's second gym battle, Misty goes with her, no, goes with him. And there's also Rudy, the third gym leader. So we see some of that. She understands romance and completely supports it. So there's one specific episode that I'd like to mention, Wherefore Art Thou Pokemon? It's basically Romeo and Juliet. We see two Pokemon falling in love with each other, yet their trainers hate each other. Misty sees that as Romeo and Juliet and completely understands it. Therefore, yeah, she's pretty much has an older mindset. And finally, she sees Ash as a younger brother who always gets into trouble. Yeah, Misty, she's kind of that personality who like actually likes to see who sees like Ash like in a bad situation, like especially towards the beginning when Ash doesn't even know what he's doing. Like, birds eat worms, you Pokemon master. Like, I remember that line pretty well. Like when Ash like sends in a Caterpie to fight against a Pidgeotto. How stupid could he be? Like that's and Misty sees that, so that's like what you get. Like sees Ash has a younger brother who always gets into trouble. So there we have Misty. So let's take a look at Misty's relationship with Ash. So there's Misty and there's Ash. So let's talk about their relationship for a little moment. So we see a lot of common interest with Ash and Misty. Misty specifically had her own poke shipping moments in the second movie, The Power of One. Like we see Ash getting like completely being flirted by Melody, who Misty just gets like really jealous and just gets so mad. That goes throughout the entire film. Misty eventually saves Ash from like getting drowned. And this is like basically Misty showing like how she loves Ash, but like, and she even says it like, because he has me. Like Misty clearly says that in the movie, and that's one of the main hints from Misty that she likes Ash. Vice versa with Ash, especially throughout the Orange Islands episode, where Ash gets jealous because Misty's flirting with the gym leaders. Like the second gym leader, Ash has to climb a cliff with the gym leader, yet Misty just cheers for the gym leader and just ignores Ash. Ash gets very irritated and upset, eventually losing his balance and almost falls off the cliff. There's another example, same episode, but Ash finally makes it up to the top of the mountain. Misty and Tracy were already there. Misty runs towards, we hope to be Ash, but she just slipped right past him and goes straight for Gym Leader. And you could imagine what Ash had to say. What about me? So, could this be a love relationship? I don't know, maybe, but let's say that they actually grew up. So Ash would, let's pretend that Ash is around 13 to 15-year-old mentality. Misty would probably be 15, 16, 17, maybe 18. And the way she acted, she would probably go find, as she, quote, mature and intellectual type from the Orange Islands. So we may not know for sure, but something like this. A mystery person that may be the type that she's looking for. So in the end, does Misty truly like Ash? We don't know. So moving on from Misty, we have May. So this is my view on May. So the age mentality. Around the same as Misty, 13 to 15 years old. And the reason being, she understands romance and evidently falls in love. We've seen that on quite some occasion. Can't seem to get in touch with her own feelings. That's a clear dead giveaway, especially in one of the episodes, which I will mention later on. She's very sweet and very caring, especially towards Brock or Ash or and even Drew or so. And she sees Ash as a mentor and older brother, especially towards the beginning of the episodes, the beginning of the seasons. When May's starting out as a beginning trainer, Ash treats her like a mentor, and she sees it that way. So there's that. May's relationship with Ash. Let's see now. There's May, and then there's Ash. So, do we see some love relationship with these two? Let's take a look. So there's one episode that I like to cover, The Bigger the Better. I'll be going back to this episode later on in the video, mostly because it's one of the episodes that I like to mention, especially when it deals with May and Ash. So we see May and Ash fighting, and then they run into two lovebirds, Oscar and Andy, and they claim that Ash and May seem to have a good old relationship of love, all because they were fighting. Although those two deny it, they insist on having double battle to prove their point. That's one example of advanced shifting, as we like to call it, but do you really think that's actually it? Of course, there are other examples, but that's one of the main ones that people seem to notice. But there's also one other kid that May seems to be interested in. We can all guess who he is, right? They're both coordinators. The answer is Drew. Now, Drew, he's actually like a heartthrob, sort of say. Because Drew passes a rose to May more than once, for sure. Like I said earlier, both coordinators, both enjoy contests. They go from Hoenn to Kanto to Johto together. And then there's one specific episode that I like to mention in defense of Drew and May. So, one of the episodes after the Kanto Grand Festival, Drew leaves May on the beach, and here comes Brock. And Brock's like, "Isn't that Drew?" And May just turns around and blushes. He's like, yeah, he was just leaving and acting all like, "Oh, how cute is this?" So we could probably say that these two are in love, right? I'd say so. That's right. It's a perfect example of contest shipping. Excuse me. So yeah, I think these two would definitely get along. So sorry, Ash, but you're gonna have to go down the toilet because it's not gonna work out. Sorry. So from May, we move on to Dawn. Dawn was one of my favorites. Age mentality, pretty interesting. She acts like a 10-year-old. Of course, she's 10 years old. Yeah. Of course, we know that. They're all 10. But she acts like a 10-year-old, mostly because she's not in touch with romance. There's a special episode from that introduces Lyra from the Heart Gold Soul Silver. They were introducing her into the scene, so they had to bring in Lyra. And there was some moments when Lyra was talking about relationships and marriage, and she mentioned that in front of Dawn, and Dawn was like, I never thought about that. So she clearly doesn't have any idea of romance related stuff. So yeah, I could understand why she's 10 years old. She's positive and outgoing. Remember the phrase, no need to worry. That's a perfect example of being positive. And the outgoing part where she likes to go meet other people, likes to talk to them, contests. And she's of course, contests is basically they're all in TV, so she would have to be outgoing in order to be in TV, right? And she goes out of her way to support Ash. Seriously, guys, have you seen any other girl from the Pokemon saga that dresses up as a cheerleader and cheers Ash throughout his gym battles? I'd say no other girl, because that's what Dawn does. She goes out there, dresses up as a cheerleader, and cheers for Ash. How supportive can that be? And she sees Ash as an older brother and a role model. Clear evidence throughout the entire Diamond and Pearl series. So let's take a look at her relationship. So there's Dawn and Ash. We see very cute moments together. Of course, the cheerleading outfits, and of course, there's Ash going over to her contests and cheering for her full out. Do you see Ash doing that with May? I don't think so. Sure, he has gone to some of May's contests, but has he really gone to a lot of them? I don't think so. I remember one episode while May was doing a contest, Ash was training. How supportive can Ash be to May? I don't know. But to Dawn, have you seen Ash miss the contest? I doubt it. So he really seems to care a lot about Dawn. So could that be a love story? Maybe. But there's one other problem. She sees another person. Another person to be an obstacle for Ash, and it happened to be her childhood friend, Kenny. Kenny and his so-called "Hey Dee Dee," which really ticks Dawn off, but kind of funny to watch. Eventually she gets over it, but yeah, all the same. Childhood friend, known each other since kindergarten, which is definitely a lot longer than Ash. So you would expect her to choose Kenny. Here's the situation. Kenny eventually came to his senses with his feelings and ends up having the courage to say this to Dawn. I'm gonna battle Ash, and if I happen to win, I want you to come on a journey with me. Meaning, I like you, so please, if I happen to beat Ash, can you come with me? Although Kenny does win against Ash, unfortunately for Kenny, Dawn shows that she would rather go with Ash. So, would Kenny and Dawn work? I don't think so. So, sorry, Kenny. To the toilet. But that also means, does Dawn like Ash? Maybe. Now, after the Diamond and Pearl series, we see Dawn leave, and guess who had to come on the list? Iris. I'll say this up front. I absolutely hate Iris. But that's not going to interfere with the unbiased part, because this is, like I said, research from what I've known from Iris. Age mentality, 10 years old. Although she does seem like around 12 or 14. Which is kind of embarrassing to say. If she is 12 years old, or maybe like 14, and she acts like a 10-year-old, that's kind of embarrassing, don't you say? She's arrogant and judgmental. This is my take on arrogant and judgmental. You're such a kid. We've heard that phrase so many times, and it's quite annoying to sort of say. And she's judgmental too. She's like, oh, you should have done this right. You should have done that right. Don't judge Iris. Ash has been through a lot more than you have. But on the side note, Ash has been pretty stupid in the Black and White series. So you can't blame her for saying that. But all the same, she has so many common ground with Ash. She likes to eat. She is so competitive. She has a similar goal, with Ash having to be a Pokemon master and Iris wanting to be a dragon master. So it's pretty similar. She doesn't seem to be interested in romance. I've seen Black and White, as much as I really don't like it, but I haven't really seen any hints that Iris would like Ash. And even if you call them hints, it seems like as if she's just being good friends with Ash, or trying to be good friends. Doesn't seem to be any romance in there. And finally, she sees Ash as an immature little kid that needs to grow up. True, Ash does need to grow up, especially from the Black and White series. He does. He does grow up in the X and Y series, so that's mission accomplished for Iris, but yeah, she sees Ash as the immature little kid. Let's take a look at the relationship. So there's Iris and there's Ash. Of course, there's no double block because Ash is the only person Iris sees. So, is there a relationship between those two? After all that I said, my final answer, nope. And I like to X out both of them because this is how I would imagine them going out. If they would ever go out and have an actual legit relationship, this is what I would imagine going on with them. Cough, cough, my point. So, now we have our final guest, Serena. My personal favorite, Serena's age mentality. I consider her to be 15 to 17 years old. And the reason being she's in love with Ash, which is definitely canon. That's not the main reason why I would consider her 15 to 17. She does seem to know romance pretty well. She handles rivals somewhat well. Sweet, caring, and very supportive. And she's like that to everyone, but specifically Ash. She's definitely too shy to confess her true feelings. That's why you have rivals. Cough, cough, yet. So yeah, there's that. And she sees Ash as a loving person and hopes to get closer to him. No need to explain that further. Serena's relationship with Ash. Okay, so there's Serena, Ash. So are they really in love? Do I have to explain this further? Because we've seen throughout the X and Y series that Serena blushes every time there's a mentioning of Ash, whether directly or indirectly, or whether there be a rivalry going on with between Ash, for Ash meaning. So, is there a relationship? Let's ask these three people. First up, we got Miet. Miet, the main rival of Serena. She definitely seems to have a crush on Ash, but does she really? In my opinion, I don't think she really does. I would say that she has a so to say crush on Ash just to have Serena go with Ash. I'm sure she's gonna back down once Serena gets Ash. Then we have another guest, Shauna. Shauna found out that Serena does like Ash. She even asked Serena that question, and she blushes. So we see that we don't really see too much of Shauna, but we can definitely notice that. Then we got Bonnie. Out of all the people that travel with Ash, Bonnie actually notices. Clement doesn't notice, but Bonnie does. And the funny thing was, of course, Bonnie has her own running gag that she likes to do to his brother when she sees a beautiful girl. She does the Brock moment, not only for herself, but she does it to have Clement get married. She's like, please take my brother. I can imagine her doing that for Serena. Like towards the end of the saga, or X and Y saga, she'll probably go over to Serena and says, please take Ash. The same way she would for Clement. Because like you could see her smirking every time Serena just blushes. So out of all the three, we all know the common phrase. Yes, we know. So now that we know that Amore shipping definitely canon, most likely to happen, but we don't know for sure. Do we know if the other companions would actually know if Serena and Ash would actually be a good girlfriend-boyfriend status? Let's find out. Will Missy support Amore shipping? My answer would be yes. And the reason being, like I said earlier, Missy would definitely try to find someone who's more mature and smart. If Misty meets Serena, Serena would probably, of course, she would definitely be scared because she can't really confess to Ash. This is what response I would imagine Misty would say. And with this kind of face too. Serena, get it together! If you love Ash, tell him that you love him! Is that Misty or what? Very crude, very straightforward, something that she would do to Ash. So yeah, does she support Amore shipping? I'm sure she does. Does May support Amore shipping? So I would say yes, because she already has like a boyfriend type. AKA Drew. So she would definitely say something like this. You like Ash, don't you? You'll be fine. Just tell him your feelings. I'm sure he likes you too. So there we have it. May would definitely support Amore shipping. How about Dawn? Now Dawn is interesting. Dawn would probably be, at first, hey, no need to worry. Ash is a sweet guy. You two seem pretty good together. Of course, she's 10 years old. And of course, her personality is basically, oh, I'll help you too. Like, I like helping people. Like, that's what our friends for. She sees people as friends, so of course she would like to help other people. That's her personality. So in the short run, she would say yes to Amore shipping, but when she matured, do you really think that she would definitely support Amore shipping? Here's what I think. My point proven. She would probably be thinking, oh, she's trying to steal you away from me. In other words, I like Ash too, you know. This is a competition, but if you happen to win, I give, I yield. Congratulations. That's how I would picture Dawn when she's a little bit older and understands romance. Now the final thing, Iris, will she support more shipping? Definitely so. In fact, Serena would probably get embarrassed by Iris because Iris would definitely make fun of Serena. She'll be like, Serena, you're such a little kid. I guess that's why you'll never get Ash as your boyfriend. Pretty Iris, don't you think? And the "you're such a kid" comeback would definitely be worth it for Serena. So yeah, I would say she does support more shipping. So after all the supports, let's do a little recap, a little review. Female companion review and judgment. So we first have Misty. Now let's ask ourselves this. Do you think Misty would be a good couple with Ash? All you Poke shippers would say yes. I understand. But I would have to say no. And the reason would definitely be because she would definitely go look for an older, more mature person instead of settling for Ash. Next we have May. Would May be a good couple to Ash? After all that I've said, we know the answer already, don't we? I'm sorry, advanced shippers, the answer is no. And the reason being, she has a so-called boyfriend of her own, quote-unquote, Drew. Contest shipping. Bravo. Contest shipping has won out the day. And then we have Dawn. Will Dawn and Ash be a good matchup? Maybe. I won't say no to her. Because there is one other person that would probably be a good matchup too. Is it Iris? Absolutely not. Iris would be a terrible example of relationship. Especially because they like to fight. Way too often. So we have at last Serena, which is obvious. Yes, they would make a good couple. So it all comes down to Dawn versus Serena. So is it Dawn or is it Serena? So before I pass the final judgment, I'd like to make two things clear. 2 points that would most likely determine my reasoning of why I chose who I've chosen. So the first reason, or the first reasoning would be, out of all the girls, Dawn and all the other girls, Misty, May, and even Iris, all had a reason to follow Ash on his journey. Dawn, May, and Misty both got their bikes fried by Pikachu. Iris got fried herself by Pikachu. And evidently, they all decided to go on their journey with Ash. Serena was a different case. Serena, she didn't have any dealings with Pikachu, like getting fried. Instead, she was thinking what am I going to do now? But then Ash asks her personally. Ash asked her personally to go on his journey with him. So that's my big giveaway. Serena was asked by Ash, while the other girls went with Ash, out of their own free will. They were oh, I'm going with you because I have a reason to. So in the end, my final question. Is it Dawn, Pearl shipping? Or is it Serena, Amore shipping? And the big winner, that's right, it's Amore shipping. And here's the answer why. let's say that all three of them grew up. Dawn being the age of romance, Ash 2, Serena most likely around adult age. Dawn would finally come to her senses and probably like start to fall in love with someone, and the only person that she could probably come up with is Ash, because Ash has been there for her. Ash would certainly like that, probably maybe fall in love, but there's also Serena. Serena loved Ash ever since they were like quote unquote 10 years old. But even as they grow older, Serena will never stop falling in love with Ash, so to seem. So if I were Ash, so if Ash would have to choose someone, Ash would definitely choose Serena for the reason of him asking Serena to go on the journey with him. So yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention. There's another reason. Yeah, I forgot to mention the other reason why Serena wins. Dawn with all the other girls, they all have fought against Ash. Misty being a perfect example, and Misty and Iris, perfect example. Misty on many occasions, especially the first 2 episodes that she joins in, she fights constantly about her bike. May with her premiered episode, The Bigger the Better, complete fighting with Ash. It's just basically us saying, fight, 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 fight. Dawn, not too much fighting, but still, fighting is fighting. She fights towards the beginning where she's a little inexperienced, and towards the end, just plain bickering. And then there's Iris. We don't really need to go over her, but I'll just do it anyway, because Iris, one episode specific, the path that leads to goodbye. When a huge dispute just led into just a ginormous, I'm not talking to you, you make me mad, that kind of argument. But Serena, have we seen her fight Ash before? Last time I checked, no. Serena has not fought with Ash, not once. So you probably guess why Serena would definitely be the right choice for Ash, and why Ash would most likely choose Serena over Dawn. So there you have it. The reason why. Yeah, so this is the reason why Ash would definitely choose Serena as his girlfriend. I hope you liked my discussion this time. And this time you were able to see my presentation. So it looks like I guys had some other fun with it. Of course, if it was the original PowerPoint that I had, the animation would definitely be a lot better. But yeah, since this is Google Docs, the animation was just so basic. I'll definitely post the PowerPoint at the bottom, just so you can see how well I spent my work on it. So I hope you approve this video, because the last one was a total mess up. So I like to say, please comment, subscribe, like this video, and absolutely, please don't comment about the first one, because I understand it was my fault. Like, I didn't know myself, but still, like, it's no excuse. I messed up, and most likely gonna get hounded for it, but still, it's all right. Only like 6 of you watched my embarrassment, so maybe I'm gonna get comments from those 6 of you, but who cares? So yeah, no bad comments, please. I'd like to see your discussion, your points of view on who would be the best girlfriend. Don't just say because you're a something shipper, because that's not good information. Like, that's not enough. Sure, I'm an Amore shipper, and Amore shipping was basically the end result. But I could have easily said Pearl shipping had the information been a little bit more, like had it turned out that way, sure, I would have definitely said Pearl shipping or Poké shipping or even advanced shipping. So there's that. So in the end, yeah, I will be doing more discussions in the future, probably making more presentations for y'all. So stay tuned for that. Also, I'll be doing more Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, so I hope you enjoy that too. So, as always, this is Alternator, signing out.